The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome to Getting to Know You. My name is Joe Nash. Today we're going to be talking about the Troy Turkey Trot. It's that time of year again, the 67th annual. We have with us the race director, George Regan. Welcome. This is your 30th time doing it, you were telling me?
Pretty much. And close, Joe.
Okay, and we have the public information officer from Troy, Mike Morris. So welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
So before we talk about specifically this year's race and some of the changes and the usual stuff, George, I'm going to just ask Mike, this is a big day in Troy. I've run in every turkey trot since 1975. I know it's a big day, and it's not only for Troy, but for the Capital District. So could you just talk about that a little bit, what it means to Troy and everything?
Yeah, as you know, there's a lot going on in Troy right now. There's, buildings being redeveloped and rehabilitated. There's new apartment units coming in. There's new infrastructure improvements happening. There's a lot going on, and this event brings a lot of people to the city, not only the people that live there, but a lot of people outside the city. And it kind of, in addition to everybody running and having a good time, it's in a sense allows us to show off what's going on in the city of Troy. Everybody's pretty proud of what's going on there, and it's nice to bring in, many thousands of people to see what's going on in the city, and to also have the, like you said, you've run in it since 1975. There's some history there too. So I think you get families in, you get runners, people that are in it for a lot of different reasons.
And I know last year, I think it was an overall record. There was over 7,800 runners. I don't know if you're expecting just as big this year, or?
I think so. After talking with George, I think that we expect a pretty big turnout again.
Okay. And then George, this is your, I think you stopped counting how many times you've directed this race, but what do you think this year? Are you going to be up around 7,000, 8,000 again?
Most of that's weather dependent.
Yeah.
But I am anticipating it. We've enjoyed growth over the last 10 years to the tune of about 5 to 7% overall. So there's no reason why we shouldn't. Although last year it was a little chilly and windy, we were about even. We saw no growth last year.
Okay.
So it is weather dependent, and I can understand that because probably 60% of your field are first-time runners.
How many?
60%.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, it's funny, as Mike said, you get, what happens is, you grow up in Troy, and you've experienced the turkey trot because it's been there for 67 years, so you would have had to, right?
Yep.
And so you then leave Troy and you go on and make your career someplace else, but you always come back because that's where the family is. So we've got, 47 states represented from across the country. Isn't that something?
Oh, yeah.
And most of those people are coming back to enjoy the day and to be with their families on Thanksgiving.
It is my favorite day of the year in Troy. So.
Yes, mine too.
Okay.
And I'm a lifelong Trojan myself, so it's probably one of the reasons why I've stuck with it so long in terms of helping manage it. Really, the city does an awful lot for this event in terms of keeping the consistency there, the underpinnings of the event.
Okay, and I know that a few other places have races on Thanksgiving, but I always say this is the only turkey trot. All others are pretenders. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, well, when you look at the history and you compare the history of Troy's turkey trot to the other 6 in the area, yes, that's true. I think the next oldest trot of the 7 would be the one for St. Clair's Hospital in Schenectady.
Okay.
I believe that's been around for 15 years now, maybe 12.
So before we talk about some specifics, why don't I just give people a little history about it. How long do you start planning this? What time of the year do you have to start planning? And then maybe Mike could talk about when does the city start getting going on this?
Well, there's elements of the trot that are a year-round planning. So really, you never stop planning it. But in terms of the amount of time and intensity we put into it, right around Labor Day, we're pretty much full-time right through to the day.
Okay. And Mike, I know, are there many departments involved in putting this on?
Yeah, Director of Operations, myself, the mayor, Deputy Mayor. And then, like he said, it starts right around Labor Day. That it's always in your mind because it is one of your biggest events of the year. So it's always being thought about. But right around Labor Day, it starts to gear up, and we start to start thinking about the upcoming couple months and how you take such a successful event and ensure that it stays successful for many years to come.
Okay, and then the online registration is open now. It'll be on the screen here, TroyTurkeyTrot.com. Are there any, first thing for this year's race, are there any changes from last year that you know of? Well, one thing, before you answer, I just have to say one thing. I know 2 years ago you went back to the traditional finish line, which was
right.
What was the reaction to that? I think people really like that.
Yeah, and that was a pretty big change. They loved it. I mean, there's something to say about, running along the river for 3.1, well, actually 10K, because it really never leaves the river. Some of the issues we had to sort out were traffic related and getting people that weren't participating in the event in and out of the city. And we were able to do that because we go up to 111th Street now versus cutting off that 112th Street corridor, which is a big corridor, people coming off of 787 and trying to get out of the city. So with that remaining open, it was pretty easy for us to convince the Troy Police Department to,
But I was
back to the traditional.
I would like to say yes. The traditional finish line. I mean, for myself, 35 years, ending right in the city hall. Well, the city hall isn't there anymore, but it's always a good spot. So that's. Are there any change? So the course is the same as the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yes, the 10K course we're going to be starting at 4th and Fulton, and you get that little jog out onto the Green Island Bridge and back, and then right up to 111th Street and back. And then the kids run the grade school mile and the turkey walk are both going to go out from 4th and Fulton out to Hutton, right by the new City Hall, past the new City Hall, and to turn around and finish at Monument Square. And then the 5K goes off at 10, and same thing, it goes up to 101st Street and back. And
let's not forget the Ale House people doing the turkey leg, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. And see, there's not a lot of people that know about that.
I know. Well, I have to get that in.
But you do.
I know.
Because you've been doing it for so long. I don't even think people know what the turkey leg is.
Well, they'll have
now that you brought it up, I should probably explain
it. Yes, why don't you tell people
Don't you think?
Sure.
It'd be appropriate? Do you think, Mike? Well, the turkey leg was started as a fundraiser for a charity that the ale house and the proprietor of the ale house was having. And what he said was anybody who could run from the start of the race to the ale house, he was going to give a turkey leg to and donate X amount of dollars to fund the charity that they were underwriting. And that's how it all started.
Okay.
And so this is, in its 30th year.
And I know that they do donate all their money every year to is it the food pantry, I think? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing about the 10K, it's a sanctioned championship race. Could you maybe talk about that?
It is. It's a 10K regional championship event for USA Track and Field. And so the competitive part of the 10K is there for sure. Now, don't get me wrong, you can run the 10K recreationally, absolutely. The championship division is for those that are registered in it, and they have to be members of USA Track and Field Adirondack Association in order to participate. So we get athletes, because the Adirondack territory is quite large. It goes out to Syracuse and up to Plattsburgh and down in midway into the Hudson Valley. So we get athletes from that region, and others that come in and compete as well, because It's also the culmination of a 10-race Grand Prix series that starts in January and runs through the entire year. And you know, if you're a competitive runner and you run in the Grand Prix series, you pick your races and you run them, and the points that you garner for your places in those races determine your overall point position in the Grand Prix series. Well, the Troy Turkey Trot is the culmination of the Grand Prix series, and it's never been decided, you know, except at the Troy Turkey Trot. So that makes it a little extra exciting, you know.
And then people, if you want to run in it, you can sort of measure yourself against, these guys are the best in the country, aren't they?
Well, but certainly the best in the region.
First in the
I would
Northeast.
say the best in the country.
But in the Northeast, at least.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So now why don't we just talk about, there's free parking during the event. Mike, I don't know if you wanted to speak to that. There's free parking at the Broadway and 5th parking lot, on Uncle Sam parking, and the State and Front Street. Is that?
Yep.
That's all those three places?
Yes.
And people can also park, anywhere, well, if they get down the road.
Not on the race course.
And I know. Well, so there's free parking, and then now, let's see now. The times, George, 8 a.m. for the 10K, 9:30 the grade school mile, Turkey Trot 1 mile walk, 9:35. The 5K starts at 10, and then you have awards ceremony. And also, this year, there is a money for, I have it right here, hold on one second. Last year, the Turkey Trot raised over $11,000 for two places, the Regional Food Bank and the CYO of Troy. I know this year, they're raising money again for the groups, the same groups or different groups? Or?
The Northeast Regional Food Bank
Oh, okay.
and the Joseph's House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the money will go to those two places.
Right.
And every year they obviously raise over $10,000 and $10,000 for that. So.
Yeah. It's quite appropriate, I think, you know, on Thanksgiving to have the Regional Food Bank involved, you know, being the fact that we, as lucky as we are to live in this great country of ours and to have events like the Troy Turkey Trot, are going to go home with our families and have a great Thanksgiving dinner. Well, there are others that can't do that, and that's where the Regional Food Bank comes in, and I think that's extremely important. And there's a nice synergy this year with the Joseph's House and Shelter, because they are traditionally, or they are a food shelter themselves.
Oh, okay.
So the Regional Food Bank funds about 1,000 food pantries and shelters throughout the year in its territory.
Okay.
It's 22 county territory.
Now,
which is kind of nice, you know.
Oh yeah, I know. I always think of Thanksgiving as a family day,
right?
Too.
Definitely.
Other holidays, you're running around, but so this year, another thing we could talk about: how many age groups are? There's a lot of age groups in this. Is it every 5 or every 10?
It's every 5.
Every 5 years. Okay.
Up to 90 plus.
And you can also enter teams.
Yes. There's team competition. In the 10K, of course, it's your traditional teams that are registered and part of the governing body for the sport, which is USA Track and Field. In the 5K, we have family teams.
Okay.
There are 8 of them: mother, daughter, sister, brother, sister.
Okay, all different combinations. Okay,
Yes.
I see. All right.
Father, son, father,
Okay.
daughter, mother, son, mother, daughter, and there it is.
Okay.
That's all 8 of them right there.
And you can register
He
online.
thought I was going to go on and on and on, you know, but you can only make a certain combination, Joe.
I see. And also, there's also another division here we can speak to, that if you run this as many years as I have, you've always seen this. There's also a costume contest.
Yes.
I know many people do run in some crazy costumes.
Yeah, they do. I like the present costume the most. They ran as presents.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this was,
Christmas.
yes, that's right, because there's 2 award categories in the costume contest: traditional Thanksgiving costume and non-traditional. Well, these guys were dressed up like Christmas presents.
Okay, yeah, I remember, I saw that.
Right,
yes.
they had nothing
Yes.
on except the box that was around their midriff, and it was really freezing cold last year. I mean, it was so cold, I felt so sorry for these guys, but they won the non-traditional costume
Yeah,
contest.
there was some, and I think down through the years, I know we've talked talked about this before. I don't know if Spider-Man is still around, but
Right.
he was there for
Years,
25 or
wasn't he?
30 years. And
Yeah.
there was also the guy, this wasn't a costume, but the man who ran in the full pack with the flag and the army gear. I don't know if he's still...
I think he is.
He's still there?
I think he is.
I've been in too many of these, George.
He slowed up a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
And he is a true veteran.
He's... okay.
Yeah, he's a Vietnam veteran and maybe Iran,
Okay.
Iraq war. I'm not sure though, but
So now...
Desert Storm.
One thing I'd like to talk about, maybe people can look for some of the... Are there any sort of famous... I don't want to say famous, but are there some runners people can look out for in the 5 and 10K that people may know, or...
Not really.
No?
Well, I
well.
mean, you know, they'll be right up there.
Okay.
I mean, you know, the emphasis really has not been, it's more on family and being together. It's not on the competition. Although there is a competitive side to it, like you said, with the designation as the 10K championship,
Okay.
but that certainly isn't the emphasis.
So, Mike, on one thing about that, should people get over to Troy a little bit early to avoid, the traffic?
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely give yourself a little bit of time because you also have to stop in and get your bibs and everything like that.
But we do have 2 packet pickup times.
Yes, I'll
or
mention
pickup
that.
times. Okay.
You can pick up your packet on Sunday, November 23rd, 11 to 6, in the atrium, right?
Right.
And on Wednesday, November 26th, from 11 to 6, also at the atrium. You can't pick them up at...
Yeah, and race morning you can't.
At race
But you
morning.
can't register on race morning.
Okay.
Those 2 dates you mentioned prior to race day, you can also register and get your number right there.
Oh, okay.
So if you haven't registered,
So no
you,
same day pickup.
Like if you haven't registered yet, like you could register that Sunday and that Wednesday.
I'm going to be registering before.
Okay.
Because I know there's,
believe you.
if you register early, there's different, it costs less the earlier.
Yes,
you register.
November 1st, the fee goes up by $5.
And so that's on Sunday.
Food too. Sorry to interrupt. And the food too, right? You drop that. Are we doing the drop-off in the morning?
Yeah, we do, that's right.
That's another thing.
When you pick up your bib,
Yep.
people can bring a non-perishable food item for the, okay. Do you not?
For the regional food
Okay,
bank.
Yeah.
Very good.
And the pantries, they distribute them. But
Okay.
you can do that on Sunday, you can do that on Wednesday, or you can do that race morning. Or we're going to have a second, which this is new this year.
Okay.
We're going to have a second food drive, which starts November.
Monday.
Oh, starts this Monday. Okay.
the
And it
27th.
goes to.
It starts Monday the 27th, and there's going to be 4 or 5 drop locations for non-perishable food items. The drop locations will include places like City Hall, which is in the Headley building. So in the entrance of the Headley building, the Rensselaer County Chamber, which has recently moved into the Proctor's building.
Okay.
They're going to be a drop location. They were gracious enough to help out. The Troy Bid Office is going to help out, which is right by the old City
Okay.
Hall site. There was a couple more.
Well, it'll be on the website. It's troyturkeytrot.com.
Yes.
You can name
Yeah,
places.
but so starting Monday, I believe it's the 27th, you can bring your non-perishable items to a drop box in one of those locations.
I think Pioneer Bank, their corporate
Yep.
headquarters there on.
Okay, that'll give
On
people
second.
a whole month to.
Well, we're going to do that for 2 weeks.
Oh, for 2
and
weeks,
then
okay.
pick that up. Obviously, it gives a little a lead time to Thanksgiving. That food will be in there for maybe people that might need it on Thanksgiving and everything like that.
Okay.
So.
Now, George, this year's, I know a big thing of the race every year is the shirt. Do you know this year's, do you have anything on the color and the design, or did you bring one? Or?
I didn't bring one because we're still trying to work out the design.
Oh, okay. It's always
We're
a big thing
tweaking
every
it.
year, right?
Yeah, it does. And it takes a lot of, pre-work on it. We're thinking about it. We send out questionnaires to people to see what they want. And, we try to get it right.
Really? What, can you give us any?
Yes, I can. What would you like to know? Would you like to know the color?
How about the color? Yeah.
Okay. The men's color is going to be black.
Okay.
The women's color is going to be electric pink.
Okay. And can you reveal anything about the design, or is that secret?
What I can reveal about the design is it's not going to be a full front design. It's going to be a breast patch.
Okay.
And one of the reasons we decided to go that way was because you're a runner and you've been through this. When you have a big ink patch on your shirt, which is a nice design. It looks good, but it is hot running in it because you don't get it breathing, through that. So we decided to go with a small one.
Okay.
Up in the upper left-hand patch. That signifies Troy and the turkey trot and what that's all about.
And that will look nice on a black shirt.
Yes, and it'll also look nice on an electric pink shirt because we changed the colors in the design to match the background color of the shirt.
Okay. I don't know if I would want to wear electric pink, but
I'll let you have one and you can try it.
Okay.
Your wife might like it on.
That's right. She's going to be running this year, so.
Oh, good.
All right, so that is, I guess, have we covered everything?
Well, I guess what I wanted to say about the city of Troy and having, if you will, a relationship through this event, it's been a real pleasure working with the mayor, the mayor's administration, and really everybody, the operations side. But I want to throw a big thank you out there to the Parks and Rec department and the police. The police and fire with their EMS services department. They've just been tremendous. And also the Department of General Services. Is that what you call it? General Services.
Public Works.
Public Works, the Department of Public Works. They've been phenomenal. I mean, you have no idea what these people do. I could not put this event on at the level that the community enjoys it without their support. And you know what they did this year? They paved the whole course. Paved it right from
River Street is all
right from Monument Square up to 111th Street. It's all brand new pavement,
excellent.
and most of it has brand new sidewalks and lighting and everything. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. So hats off to
I'll relay that.
Lou Rosamilia and his administration and the Public Works and all those people that worked on that project.
Well, I think a lot of people don't think about when you have 8,000 runners, you need the cooperation of a lot of people. There's police at every corner. You have traffic people. You have a lot. I know you have a lot of volunteers also helping out at the end. So that is the Troy Turkey Trot, 67th edition. The first one was back in what, 1916?
Yes.
Okay, and I know obviously there's a big gap there. It wouldn't be the 67th.
Well, during the war there was. Yeah, it was actually 2 wars.
I know.
Actually 3, right? World War I, World War II, Korea.
I think we've been to too many of these, George. So.
And there were 4 wars, Vietnam.
I know.
Oh, and Desert Storm. Oh, my God. We better stop talking now.
All right, so that's Troy Turkey Trot. Will be on the screen. Go register. Be one of the 8,000 runners this year. And it's always my favorite day of the year, not just because I'm from Troy. So thanks for coming, George.
You're welcome.
Mike.
Thanks for having us.
And we will see you at the Turkey Trot. And we'll see you next time on Getting to Know You.